And good morning, everybody. It is Fabulous Friday featuring Colin Chapman. Now, Colin, it's great to have you on here. And we've only just recently met.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's exciting because
yes,
actually,
it is.
I don't know really anything about you. So it says here, Colin Chapman, comedy hypnotist. Tell me more.
So, I've been doing hypnosis since 2011,
Hmm.
and there was a bunch of stuff that I kept talking about how I was gonna do, and I
Okay.
kept kicking the can down the road. And then, uh, in April of 2019,
Hmm.
a drunk driver blew through a red light, totally destroyed my beautiful Volkswagen Passat, left me with a traumatic brain injury, PTSD. And they told me that my brain was only working at 35% of what it was before. And the prognosis they gave me was pretty freaking grim, like f- 5 to 10 years
Mm.
to overcome the brain injury and all eternity on the PTSD. And that didn't really work for me. And my wife really came through because one of the things with the brain injury, like it gave me superpowers.
Okay.
Um, I realized that the oven in the kitchen was now a urinal,
Okay.
and I was qualified to be president.
Excellent.
By the way, that line was for whoever you didn't vote for if you're an American. Okay. Okay. Wasn't for who you did vote for, whoever that was or wasn't. Um, and and it's like, and I went to work. I had my wife's support at a really awful time when I was at my worst. And I ended up coming back stronger than I'd ever been before.
Okay.
And in fact, I go to my wife and say, listen, I wouldn't have made it back without you. I have never felt so loved. And she goes, loved? The only reason why you're still walking around is you still haven't signed the insurance life insurance paperwork. And that really touched me too.
Yeah.
And so I still haven't signed the life insurance paperwork. Okay. But no, joking, no, all joking aside, it's like, yeah, she was there for me.
Mm.
And I did get all the way back better than I ever was. And I came away from that with certain knowledge about things. First off, I'm not guaranteed to see the sun come up in the morning.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm going to live every day like I'm not going to.
Yeah. Every day's
Okay.
a gift. Okay.
Okay. It's like, and yes, it was a gift. And I will sit here and tell you right now, 5 worst days of my life give me all the happiness that I have today. And that was one of them. And believe me, that day sucked.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That day sucked,
Mhm.
but it's why I get to be so happy. And so part of what came with that is a realization. So yeah, all this stuff I've been talking about, I'm going to do. I need to do one of two things with. I either need to shut up about it or do it. Now, one of the things that was on that list is that I kept talking about how badly I wanted to do a walking tour of Chernobyl. And at this point, until they get some things worked out in Ukraine, that's not really going to be an option. So that one's kind of outside of my control. All right. But still on the list.
Okay.
Still on the list. But one of the things is that I'd been talking about wanting to move into the performing hypnosis side of hypnosis.
Mhm.
And this was kind of the pin that dropped. Okay, let's shut up about it and just do it.
Okay.
And so I did. And right before the pandemic, which I put all that time when we weren't legally allowed to perform here in Virginia to work and building a fantastic show. And when I get up in the morning, the very first, and this is one of, incredible parts about self-hypnosis. You can create any new habit you want to create very, very quickly.
Oh, this is very true.
Okay. And so I have a habit when my 2 feet hit the floor, I'm asking some version of the question,
Hmm.
what am I going to do to make somebody laugh today? Okay. And that might be, well, I know I'm going to be writing some comedy material. It might be stand up. It might be for my comedy hypnosis part of the show. It might be something else. I'm definitely going to be making some memes, some of which upset my colleagues
Oh,
because they can't handle the funny sometimes. But I don't care. I'm going
okay.
to keep bringing the funny.
Yeah.
And I also get the opportunity to continue to do the professional hypnosis work. I focus on sleep, stress, smoking, pain, performance.
Mm-hmm.
And where we met was in a train the trainer class.
This is true.
And my motivation for that, there were a couple of things. And I was saying some nice things about how important Jason was to me in one of the class. And Jason's like, why? It's like, all I ever did for you is I just referred you 2 shows. It's like, oh no, that dude did way more than that for me. Jason is really, really public about how successful he has been in this business,
Yeah.
which pisses a bunch of folks the F off.
Oh, does it? I
Oh
didn't.
yeah, yeah. Okay. It's like, and he has also done an awful lot to help a lot of people who weren't so financially successful as hypnotists become financially successful as hypnotists.
Mm-hmm.
Jason is an inspiration to me because he is actually walking the walk, not just talking. That, hey, you actually really can do this, and I'm going to show you how you can too. And so that
I agree.
it's like, and so that's why it's like, listen, it's like, save your haterade for me. Okay. It's like, go on into my account on X where I'm completely uncensored. And I'm sure by the time you get to the 3rd or 4th post, you'll find something to hate me for. Okay. Because I'm not holding anything back over there. Um,
What's your humor, Colin? You're gonna, because as I said, we've only just met, so
yes.
I'm unsure of your humor. I mean, I've got an English sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will often find things amusing, and there that somebody else might not. And again, sometimes I can be a little bit dark. Now, there's also
I love you already,
there's
Claudia.
there's a dry sense of humor, and then there's also the whole thing about there are some jokes. I'm not being funny. I'm like going, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really bad sometimes at getting jokes. So you're going to have to, tell tell me more.
Well, and so this is one of the reasons why I refuse to be called a stage hypnotist.
Okay.
Okay, is it almost, not all, but almost all, well over 90% of those who sexually identify as stage hypnotists are doing material that was first done when JFK was still alive. It's not their material.
Oh, just old stuff. All right.
It's like it's
Good.
like you're you're hot at the beach, you're freezing in the blizzard, book and balloon, and all this stuff that everybody has seen before. um and that's part of why my models are comedians, not my fellow hypnotists, is that a comedian is going, it's like let's take somebody who's one of the greats, Dave Chappelle. he spent today writing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So why would I be so arrogant as an entertainer who cares about what I do to think I'm so good I don't need to write. I'll just do somebody else's stuff and it'll be great. There's a reason why if you go out on the street right now today, ask 10 people, ask 100 people, ask 1,000 people, who's your favorite hypnotist? You won't get one answer. Keep going.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who any of us are.
No.
And part of it is our material sucks. And so, as somebody who's creating material, I've got to create stuff that's relatable. I've got to create stuff that's culturally relevant. I've got to be doing stuff that is going to touch on things that are happening today. I can't be going back and making reference to something that happened on Seinfeld or The Office or The Muppets.
No, it's gone. It's old.
Yeah, it's like, first off, it's stale. And B, since we started this 11 minutes ago, a big chunk of the audience that remembers that scene from Seinfeld had died. Okay, it's like we're just aging out. So so I'm actually paying attention to what is happening culturally today. So if I'm going to make a cultural reference, I can tap into it.
Yeah.
And yes, sometimes my material gets a little bit dark.
Yeah. And as you say, you may well piss a few people off.
I'm okay with that. Because
Yeah.
my job is not to make sure that no one is offended. My job as an artist is to push the envelope. Right now, one of the things that is trending are JD Vance memes, where people take JD Vance and make him look like it's possible I have created JD Vance as a leprechaun.
Okay.
Somebody created JD Vance as a goth boy. It's possible that I might have put out a meme that has JD Vance as the Pope.
Oh.
And somebody types in there too far as a comment. I go, too far. I ain't even gotten out of the parking lot yet. Okay. It's like I have to be pushing the envelope. Then I also have to have the ability to, if I'm true story, did a show, corporate show, and they told me, Colin, we want your spicy show. I get there and they're giving awards to all the employees. And one employee after another is getting up there and saying, when I came to work here, I didn't just find a career, didn't just find some friends, but our CEO introduced me to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you. Next guy gets up and gets awards. Hey, look, I want to just thank Bob for doing everything he does for our Wednesday Bible studies first thing in the morning. Those have made such a big difference in my life. And was one after another. It's like, okay, the set list I had tonight for the spicy show, it's like, so I have the ability to do shows that are clean for really uptight HR types. I have the ability to do shows that are clean for people. I would be doing a show for some alums of Liberty University.
Okay.
Okay, which was Jerry Falwell's, the university Jerry Falwell founded. Okay. If you date while you're a Liberty student, you have to have a chaperone. Okay, that's how serious they are. Okay, and I'm able to do material that works for them. I'm doing a show for a very, very, very hardcore woke union. Too. It's like, and guess what? I love anybody that comes out to one of my shows
Yeah.
and that I get to share hypnosis with. I get to share, hey, this changed my life. This saved my life. This is something that has given me the ability to achieve things that I wouldn't have been able to any other way.
So what I'm hearing is, Colin, is that you're actually very flexible and you can adapt just like that to
Hmm.
any situation. I mean, and
Absolutely.
literally on the fly,
Absolutely.
because you have so much material. That's what you're saying. Instead
Right.
of
And I
they,
do a bunch of bar and comedy club
Mhm,
type shows
mhm.
where it's like, if sometimes I might be doing a show where I won't even use the most mild swear word, but I've got volunteers who are up there and they're using the F bomb like a comma.
Okay,
Okay. Or
and that's
I
their
might
language. Mm,
I might be doing a piece of stand up or crowd work where I'm letting some things fly, because sometimes the material in front of the right audience, it calls to sound basically the kind of content you would get at a comedy club. Okay. I don't do it gratuitously. It's like, if I'm going to use some stuff like that, I got a good reason to use stuff like that.
yeah. Well, also you're speaking to the crowd, and you've got to speak their language.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they'll boo you off. They won't. They won't understand. You won't have the same language. You won't be
Right.
building that. You won't be building that rapport that you have to, build with your.
Right. And that's one of the things that is so awesome,
Yeah.
is that there's so many skills that you learn as a professional hypnotist,
Mhm.
helping people become non-smokers, for instance, like rapport, making it about the person you are helping instead of you.
Mhm.
That, guess what? When you get up in front of 1,500 people, you better be able to figure out how to build a rapport and make it not about you.
Yeah, so that you're making friends,
Mhm.
like not necessarily fans, but yeah. So absolutely,
Yeah,
so that you're all mirroring off each other. There's
absolutely.
another word. So, but please, Colin, I'd really like you to tell us a little bit more, if you don't mind, about your healing journey for you and
Mhm,
self hypnosis to help you visualize or whatever you did. Because
mhm.
there'll be a lot of people who are
I
interested.
I I'll tell you exactly, I w what the story was, and this is not, it's like, um, I can tell the story about my accident, my recovery, in a way that's funny. Okay? What I'm about to say, there's no part of this that's funny. Um, uh, these hands here, um, they ain't built for installing solar roofs or tearing out drywall. Okay. When I had literally lost my damn mind, I was sitting there, what good am I?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning.
Mm.
And part of what hit me so hard with the love that my wife showed me is that she not only was sticking in there with me, going all the way, I didn't want to stay with me anymore.
Yeah.
And one of the ways I've been blessed by my clients is they had taught me some things. One of the things that I knew is the ones who did the work got better.
Okay.
The ones who stay in the fight win. And nothing will kill faster than the failure to thrive. And I knew that what I was going to need self hypnosis for was to stay in the fight. If I could just stay in the fight, I could get back.
Yeah.
And so at first, self hypnosis, all it was doing for me was giving me the motivation, giving me one thing to do, one reason to get out of bed and do something. The first day, I think it was something I wasn't sure I was going to be able to at that point. That was make a cup of coffee.
Okay.
And I was able to make the cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's a win.
And it's like, and so this guy who runs around pissing people off all over the place because he doesn't believe that there is such thing as too soon or too far in comedy. It's like, yeah, I can't even talk about this cup of coffee without tearing up.
Okay.
But the next day it was get on my tablet and read a chapter out of a book, which I knew that was going to be hard. Fortunately, the ebook reader I had was one of those paper white things, so it didn't have any glare on it. So it's like, but still just reading a chapter was a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, huge.
And then I had the crazy idea, okay, whatever homework the physical therapist and the neuro team give me, I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to, from now on, I'm doubling their homework. And so one of the things that happened is that I was at every single one of the 33 appointments I had over 6 months, 5 minutes early.
Okay.
And every bit of homework I got, I doubled.
Okay. Yeah. So you became your own taskmaster and you set yourself a high benchmark. You held yourself accountable and you walked the talk. You did it.
Yeah. And it's like, to me, you're going to need 5 to 10 years to recover from this brain injury, and you're never getting over this PTSD. It's like, I just decided, you know what? Those are BS limiting beliefs.
They are.
Okay. And it's like just because one doctor told me that doesn't mean it has to be reality.
Yeah. It's so important, that, isn't it?
And it was, and so there was also some parts where I started seeing myself, visualizing myself even better than I was before. I took something from when I was a little kid, and I think I only got my white belt in karate because everybody automatically got their white belt when they started. Okay. But I did get to break a tiny board. Okay. And I still remember what they taught us about breaking that tiny board. You don't punch to the board, you punch through the board. And so I knew if my goal is just to get back to where I was, the board wasn't going to break.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And so I actually, it's like, I'm able to do things with memory. I'm able to come up with things that I never ever would have been able to do if I hadn't gone through that accident. And so yeah, it's like, it sucked, but I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. What a story. And I can't thank you enough for sharing that with.
I appreciate you giving me the chance to just talk a little bit about my journey, what I'm so passionate about, why I just, I'm just going to be me, and let it all hang out.
Not
It's like,
too much.
oh yeah, no, believe me, there are several people who you probably know. It's like, oh no, Colin definitely needs to lighten it up and pull way back on all of his stuff. And
oh dear, that's brilliant. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on here. Thank you. And I, as I say, I really do appreciate you sharing your story, and that powerful metaphor actually is going beyond where you are. Don't just get to where you are now. Go beyond that. You know, the whole world is out there, and it's like, yeah, and it's for the taking. So I just I think that's marvelous. Thank you so much, Colin. And as I say, we'll put your links in the comments below, above or below, so that people can get in touch with you. So thank you for coming on, and thank you everybody for watching. And it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from
Colin Chapman.
So
Guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you.